Hello, everybody. I hope you are all fine. Since I read several of your comments in the weekly check-in, thank you very much for them, where you spoke about the lack of motivation, I thought this is something I could address. I am an occupational psychologist, so motivation is something I have to work with anyway. That's one thing. The second thing is, of course, we're all learners, we're all students here. I have to find my motivation every now and then, or every day, or whatever. So it's not a given for psychologists either. I found one of my old books from university. It says Motivation Organizations, which is easy to translate, I guess. So I once had to learn a lot about motivation, and I guess I was not too motivated to do so. But after so many years of working in counseling and coaching with so many people in different working conditions, I've learned a lot there as well. And I told you that I am doing part of the homeschooling with my 7-year-old now, and I learned a lot about motivation there as well. Today I had the opportunity to give a talk on the topic of motivation for people who work self-employed and for entrepreneurs here in Vienna, and I did it on Zoom, of course. Those of you who are fluent in German can find my Facebook page and find the video there if you're interested in it. Only started minute 6 and 30 seconds, because before that it's only trying to organize ourselves. And I thought I would give some of the tips to you as well in a nutshell. I will post a video I found when I did my research, and it's one who addresses students. I guess it's addresses high school students, but we can all learn something from it. It's in German with some nice pictures, and it's not too long, so I will post it and you will see what you can take from it. And when I listened to it yesterday, I did one of my clusterings, and here you can see that I put down some of the terms in English already, because this is my cheat sheet now. I will give you some ideas for motivation, and you will find your own ways around them, of course. It's a lot about organizing yourself. There are things you can do, there are things you want to do, and there are things you have to do. And time in the world each day, but then within 3 weeks you should finish all your classes and all your assignments. So I can see that it's kind of a lot of pressure and a lot of freedom at the same time, and this now you will find a way how to organize yourself around it. What you should start with is an overview, where you put down what are your deadlines, what are your due dates, what are all the tasks you have to do until then, and the bigger tasks at least. And this makes it visible for you. And you can also make a plan and put it on your wall so that you can see it. The second thing is, according to the video I posted in German, is already to think about rewards for yourself. And this could be something like making yourself a nice cup of tea after you have finished one task, or to take some time to cuddle your cat or your dog, or to have a quick chat with a friend, to write a letter to a friend, which is something I really like. I get a lot more letters over the last few weeks than I did before. That's really nice. And think about rewards, how to reward yourself, and decide what you have to do to get that reward. Then make a timetable, make a schedule for yourself I even put up a timetable now because I have to organize my working hours, and my partner has to organize his working hours. So we do have a timetable now, which I didn't have before. And then when you do have your timetable, make sure to have breaks in between. So schedule your breaks as well. You can write a learning diary where you put down what you're learning, when you're learning it, or what you're studying for, what kind of work you do. It could be something like a checklist where you can check off the boxes. And this is also helpful because it gives you an idea if your planning works. So if whatever you're planning for each day or for each hour really makes sense, or if you're totally off with calculating the time you might take. So you will take a look at your planning afterwards. Did it really work out or not? This is something you can, of course, also share with others, the ones you're living with, or some friends who are supportive, for example. They can help to hold you accountable. And it can also help to tell them, I'm not available at that time for whatever activity you're planning. So let's plan our activities or the other tasks you're giving me around my working hours. Maybe you have to discuss it with them, maybe you just inform them, but that's a possibility to make time for your work. In your learning diary or journal, you can also have something which is not a to-do list, but a ta-da list. So where you put down all the stuff that you did, all your successes. Ta-da! This is what I've done today. This is also good because otherwise you might just have a look at all the stuff that still has to be done, but then you get an idea of what you've already succeeded on. Avoid distraction. So during your working hours, use your phone, use the timer, set a time for, set time slots for your tasks where you can get the reward afterwards. So you can either get it after a time slot or after you have finished the task. And for your working time slots, mute your phone, mute all other devices, block apps you're using, and try to focus only on your work. And mute the ones you're living with if possible. That's not always possible, I know. But maybe you can ask them to be quiet or use headphones with pink noise. That works quite well for me. And what can also be helpful is to make a contract with yourself. This could be in combination with the timetable, to make a contract where you say, okay, now I will have to, or I will work for 4 hours a day at least. And it could be like working flexible hours, but with having, what is this called in English? I don't know. So a fixed time where you have to work. So you can start earlier or you can stay longer, but you have to be there in that time. You can say from 10 to 2, I will work with lunch hour in between. And you can start earlier and you can stay longer. You can put down in the contract with yourself your rewards. You can decide that for your work, you have to show up in real clothes. You have to show up with brushed teeth. You have to show up with after taking a shower. But of course, you can also decide to do all that in your pajamas and your out of bed hair. So you decided for yourself, but you set a frame for yourself. And what I really like, what I really recommend, to start with a nice activity do start with something that's like a reward. This could be the 7-minute writing you start with. This could be one of your favorite songs, dancing along. This could be jumping around. So do something active or something where you do an activity that's really close to heart. This could be 20 minutes of drawing. This could be writing a letter to a friend, or whatever comes to mind. Find something you really like and start with it, because this is definitely key for motivation and for surviving in a sane state. Take good care of yourselves. You are worth it. You are allowed to. And it's also the best you can do for everybody else. So take good care of yourself. Let me know if there's something where I can assist you. I'm happy to read from you. And take good care of yourself. Do good activities and do try to have a nice place to work. You can put a flower on your desk, or just a twig, a blooming twig you might find on outside. I hope there is no snow anymore where you are living. So you can find a nice thing so that you have a nice surrounding, a good working surrounding. And you can also decide to wear lipstick or a bracelet or a scarf for your working hours that you take off afterwards. So to really mark the working hours, especially if you're staying in the same room or the same apartment all the time, and this can make a change. And this means I'm in a working mode. This means I'm in a leisure time mode. This is really helpful from my experience. I hope you find some stuff that's helpful for you and your motivation. I'm sure you can do it. Let me know when I can help you. And I'm sending lots of love from Vienna. Bye.